Hi, I just wanted to change up the lineup a little bit. I'm Carol Jarzik. I'm very proud to be here on behalf of the Board of Education. And tonight I chose, rather than to me speak, I asked a young man who's a 2009 West Seneca West graduate, and he's a student of excellence, and he is it's not Project Lead the Way anymore, it is pre-engineering. And a teacher, and my memory really stinks, Matt, I'm sorry. There was a teacher that remembered 10 years ago when Matt graduated. He was at ECMC where I worked, and he was recuperating, and I asked the students that were in the lobby every day, what can I say about Matt Faulkner in the speech? And he said, tell everybody that Matt Faulkner's hot. So the teacher reminded me, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Matt Faulkner, West Seneca West graduate, 2009.
Guys, I have to do a good job. My mom and dad are sitting right in the front row over there, so that's what makes me more nervous than speaking to like 500 people. I'd just like to start off by saying congrats to the class of 2019. I'm honored to be here to share in this experience with you. I'm here tonight because exactly 10 years ago today, I was sitting up on this very stage, anxiously awaiting my name to be called, just like you all. But for me, the experience was not just something that finalized my West Seneca education. It was something that marked a milestone in my recovery. Mrs. Schubring, whom I think many of you know, bravely walked behind me as I crossed this stage because I had just relearned how to walk a few weeks earlier. My senior year went by pretty smoothly. I was in the pre-engineering academy with Mr. Root. I was taking a few AP classes, including AP English with Mrs. Carlone, and I had Mr. Meany for AP Calculus, and I also had Mr. Wright for Economics. I even parked my old car, featuring, no joke, plastic chrome spinning rims in the student lot each day. I bought them at AJ Wright for $10. It was amazing. Best purchase I ever made. I was planning to go to Canisius College. I had been accepted to start there in the fall, studying finance. And I was also planning to live on campus. So I had my life well planned out, although my life took a very different turn after school one day. This is where I pause for a dramatic effect. A few months before I walked across this stage, I was a passenger in a very bad car accident. I suffered from a severe traumatic brain injury, and I was left in a deep coma, struggling for my life due to someone else's negligence. When I finally woke up from the coma about 2 months later, I soon realized that speaking and moving were much more difficult than they used to be. Despite this, I wanted and needed to achieve what I had planned for myself, but I couldn't do it on my own. I utilized the support of my family, neighbors, and friends from our great West Seneca community who were behind me each and every step of the way. I had to accept my second chance at life. After all, I was voted most likely to succeed, and I couldn't have that title taken away from me. Things were no longer natural, however. I had to relearn how to speak, relearn how to walk, and relearn how to function again after being told that I may never be able to start college or live independently. What motivated me was being able to go to my graduation and walk across the stage without a walker or a cane. I was in the hospital for 103 days, but after extensive rehabilitation, I walked out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. And then 12 days later, I walked across this very stage. In my Thank you. Thank you. In my reflection on the last 10 years, I realized that graduating from high school was just the beginning of this new life for me. And I think many of you can treat it like that too. We all have our own hardships, but what makes us individuals is how we choose to respond to any situation. If you remember one thing from this speech, remember this. The brain is an amazing thing, and you can accomplish so much by giving it what it needs to let it work for you. Give your brain what it needs by reading new perspectives, or by navigating new territory, or by giving yourself a little discomfort, as Mr. Bistrick said. And above all else, you should choose to respond to things adaptively. We live in a fast-paced world today, but don't be afraid to slow down, to process, or ask for help. This is how I've chosen to respond to hardship, and I'm proud to be here with you today. Before I crossed this stage, I already had my life planned out, and as things changed, I had to reassess those plans. I wish I knew back then not to worry so much about how my life would turn out. I also wish I knew how happy I would be 10 years later. Many of my plans have changed, but today I am thankful for the opportunities that I have taken to rebuild my life. I graduated from Canisius College with a degree in economics 6 years ago, and today I work a great job in the energy industry as an internal auditor. I am also married, and I own the home. And if you must know, my car no longer has plastic chrome spinning rims. I hope that you all have an idea of which opportunities you will respond to tomorrow. These opportunities may change with time, so make it a priority to adapt to those changes. Thank you so much.